kwa sababu Kenya pia si ni kubwa. Si mngetaka nitembee kila sehemu ya Kenya? Na hapa Kisije nitembee, nikuje kuangalia soko na hiyo barabara ya Etago. Hiyo mmesema hii nikuje kila wiki, kila mwezi, nikuje nisikuje? Nimekaribishwa. Wacha nione wale wanakaribisha deputy president hapa. Basi wakati inakuja hapa, nimetoka sehemu ya Kakamega, ikiwa njiani nimepigia mdosi wangu kiongozi wetu wa taifa William Ruto simu, nikamwambia rais, sasa naelekea kwa wale watu wako wapendwa wa South Mugirango kule Kisii. Je, utanituma na salamu? Rais ameniambia mambo mawili. Ameniambia niwasalamie na anawapenda baya sana. Anawapenda kabisa. Na amewasalisia kabisa. Anawapenda kabisa. Sawa sawa? Na anawajali. Na anafanya kazi na viongozi wenu wote hapa na wale hawako hapa, ili hii South Mugirango na Kisii ipate maendeleo na manufaa ya serikali hii. Anawapenda sana, amewasalamia. Umepokea salamu ya Rais William Ruto? Wacha nione kwa mkono wale wamepokea salamu ya rais. Salamu ya rais, salamu ya rais, salamu ya rais, salamu ya rais. Ya pili ameniambia sio salamu peke yake, sio salamu ya mdomo peke yake, hata hii salamu ya kusaidia wataongeza kwa ile imechangwa. Mchango ya rais niko naye hapa ya shilingi milioni 3. Na mimi kama deputy president naleta hiyo pesa.
Yes, of course. Africa 24 here we're discussing about the politics, and also we are also trying to focus on 2027, the calendar for 2027, on who is going to win after Gachagua. And now he has been uniting Kenyans with very big choruses, the likes of high cousins, high brothers. But now we are having Kidure Kindiki also moving around also to give support for William Ruto. I am not alone here. I have Jeremiah. Jeremiah, now we know it's only 1 year to 2027. Ruto, after impeaching Gachagua, of course, now he's feeling. Do you think Ruto is feeling the intensity of Gachagua? Is Gachagua the best opposition? Because Kenyans are saying Raila Odinga has been just joking in the opposition. Now they have the best opposition. Is this true?
Thanks, Bon. You know, you have to put everything into context and into perspective. First, Gachagua is pumping himself up to do what? To be president or to be what? Because we know very well legally he cannot hold any public office for the next 10 years from the time he was impeached. So you know that when the next elections come around, hizi simama legally. That is one. Two, if he is going to do the opposition, is he being the opposition in the public gallery, or is he being in the opposition legislatively in the place where legislation is carried out, which is parliament? He can make noise only once, kwa rallies, and call brother, sister, cousin only once. But does that have any impact on legislation in the National Assembly or in the Senate? It doesn't. So Gachagua has every right to prop himself as the next leader of the opposition. Only once he can do that. But the practicality of him doing that is what really matters. Kupiga mtu yote anaweza piga kelele, hata mimi naweza toka niseme mimi niko kwa opposition, but does my noise translate into impacting legislation? Does my noise translate into keeping the government accountable, being, providing the checks and balances that is required in governance? I don't think that Gachagua has yet organized himself properly in a manner that anyone can take him seriously as being the next opposition. He is running around, which is his right. There is this other team that has Matiangi, has Kalonzo, has Wamalwa, that is also propping itself as the opposition. Mara they're working together, Mara they're not working together. We don't know where they stand. Then there is this angle of former CJ Maraga also is in there. So even if they are running the opposition, they are still too disjointed, like I say, to have any impact on matters legislation. Wasting their money running around that they can do all they want. They can call each other all names they want. But what matters really is the impact they have on legislation in the National Assembly and the Senate. The ability to keep the government in check and provide an alternative voice for anything that the government does. I think they lack in all of that. So Gachagua has every right to make all the noise he wants, but I don't think that he's really serious. He's a serious threat to the government. Not really the government. He's not really a threat to the existing executive, as it were. So we'll see when the time comes. Kama he will still hold, and we're yet to see him outside of Murema and a little bit of eastern na nini na coast. Hatujaona akipiga kelele anywhere else. Let's see him go and make noise in northeastern. Let him go and make noise in western. Let's see him go and make noise in Luo Nyanza.
But
Let's
Jeremiah, this is not making noise, because when you just observe the trend in the social media, even if Gachagua lands in the northeastern Kenya, very sure even the youth will just recognize Gachagua. Even if he goes to Nyanza.
I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is let him see, let him go, let's see how he's received. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying let them receive him, let them reject him, whatever will happen. What I'm saying is let's see him do it. The proof of the pudding is in the testing. Afike hapo tuone the way those regions will receive him. Once we see how those regions receive him, tutajua how serious he is. But in all honesty, I'm using the word noise deliberately and intentionally, because like I said, everything he's doing is very interesting in the public gallery, but does it impact on the executive or the administration? I think it doesn't. And that's the reason why I'm using the term noise. That's why I'm saying he's making noise. Hivyo tu.
Is the real so most of Kenyans, they're saying now is the best opposition leader currently, from what he has been saying. Of course, let's just have a look on some of the things Gachagua has been saying. After the death of Albert Ojwang, of course, we'll also talk about the death of Albert Ojwang, whereby a lot of Kenyans also are coming out to condemn the situation whereby the young man died in the hands of the police.
Mheshimiwa wanyu Munyoro kwi andu aguthiete ni atumana na Ngai ni mwamukira andu aitũ nĩ twaiguithania nĩ mũkũnyitirĩra rĩu ndaumagara gũcaria arata nĩ mũgũikaria mũciĩ nĩ mũgũikaria mũciĩ nĩ mũkũgiria gũkũ gũtuĩke gĩtumĩro gĩa kũrehwo noe na kũrehwo maboco nĩ mũkũgitĩra gĩtĩo gitũ ta nyũmba itũ mũndũ nĩ one term cut one term Wagabu anasema ni one term. Harambe Kasongo aende asiende. Mimi nikimalizia, I want to say one thing. Nimeona, I have seen William Ruto saying that he is not going to allow rogue police officers. The rogue police officer called Lagat works under the instructions of William Ruto. When I was in Kasarani, Mweki PCA, it is William Ruto who called Lagat and told him to withdraw police officers so that goons can come and attack us inside church. William Ruto, how can you say you don't want rogue police officers when you are the one who has made them rogue because you are the one who gives them instructions on what to do? Sisi tunataka tuseme, hata wale watu walitekwa nyara huko Marakwet, postmortem imefanyiwa, wamepatikana, they were also tortured. Na nilisema there is a squad of 101 police officers that was formed upon the approval of William Ruto, attached to the National Intelligence Service for high-level training on abductions, torture, and extrajudicial killings. So, however, William Ruto, if you are serious, first order the disbandment of that unit that you founded for the purposes of torture, for the purposes of abduction and extrajudicial killing. Direnda kumwira atiri andu aitu mwiyumiria nimo kwiyumiria na muikare muriri itho niguo nimugweka uguo na murora muno akunyaniria ruriri turenda mekirwo rurita kagogo niguo mekirwo rurita ki na kwi handu turikinya maji aguthii utuku tumekire mbugi ngingo niguo nigetha magiuka tukamenyaga andu athabotha ndi ndakena muno ndakinya wa Munyoro ngeithanie wa Munyoro ni murioka gucera
Jeremia, umesikia vile Gachagua anasema anajua siri, anajua ni nani ana abduct watu, nani anaua watu. Unafikiri pia hizi
first thing, this is a very reputable platform, and I would like to believe that it's being listened to by all Kenyans. Please do the platform a service. When you want to play clips, please do not play clips of people addressing their people in their village, in their mother tongue. That is the first thing you have to do. If you want to bring a clip that speaks the language of Kenya, not the language of a single segment of Kenya. So when you bring a clip of somebody addressing his villagers in his language, that is a disservice to this honorable platform. That is one. Two, you have not understood what I said very well. That everything Gachagua is saying is noise. Whatever he has said there, does it impact on administration? Does it impact on legislation? Does it impact on anything? Does it have any? He's just making the same noise I would also go on top of a vehicle and say, but it doesn't have impact. So when he calls himself the new opposition, his activity should impact on legislation and administration. When Raila runs the opposition, he says things and he pushes legislation in parliament. He sends his allied MPs to pass, to present to parliament bills that impact on legislation, that impact on administration of the country. He doesn't just make noise on top of a vehicle and then he goes home. Until Gachagua does that, if he has any MPs or senators aligned to him, awatume kwa parliament, kwa National Assembly or to the Senate with legislation that impacts on administration and legislation. If he's not doing that, to be honest, everything he's saying is just noise. If he knows that unit that he's saying, why can't he approach it and tackle it from a more sober angle than just a political rhetoric kwa watu wake wa village? So I don't see how Gachagua is going to to have a lot of impact moving forward. His noise will influence some people, but the bottom line is when push come to shove, atataka nini? Atasimama ama ataambia wafuazi wake, sasa mimi siwezi simama, fuatini ule nani. Sialete huyo nani wake, atataka watu wafuate, ajulikane saa hii. Siwezi kufuata for 2 years, then ikifika saa ya kura uniambie sasa mimi siwezi fika nawe finishing line, but I prefer ufuate ule nani. Bring that person mapema, umsaidie, tumjue, tumpige kisasa, so that tujue tunaenda na nani. I don't think that Gachagua is good for public rallies, but I think ikifika kwa kura, it's going to be a different story. Because one thing I know, hata kama anapiga kelele na sijui Gen Z is a totally different animal from what Gachagua is. Those two entities are very far apart. And if anything, Gachagua is the perfect thing that Gen Zs are fighting against: impunity, tribalism, balkanization of the country, and corruption. He is the perfect example of what Gen Zs are fighting against. So there is no way watakimbia na yeye atuende na yeye mahali that will influence the way they vote. I don't think that will happen.
Thank you so much, Jeremiah. Of course, you're also here discussing about the card for 2027, because politicians are also coming out as they try to focus on 2027. And also, I can see someone is saying that Rift Valley, we are saying Ruto must go. That is someone, Obadia Yagon from Rift Valley, saying that Ruto must go. And Gachagua, of course, he has said something there, and of course, he's Bantu, and also can hear what he is saying. But he is saying he knows very well the people who are abducting and killing people in the government. After the death of Albert Ojwang, I think, Jeremiah, you have not commented about the death of Albert Ojwang, the young man from Homa Bay who was just taken from home, and then he died in between Central Police Station and Karura and DCI. Now, we also about Albert Ojwang. This is one of the things that has caused demos the other day in the country, because Kenyans demand justice for the Albert Ojwang, and also the police officer who also was caught in the camera shooting the mask vendor along the CBD. Did you think that this death of Albert Ojwang, the police officer, the rogue police officers who are being caught doing these kind of behaviors will also influence and affect William Ruto winning 2027, despite the fact that still we have not heard which political party Gachagua also is vying, but we know that he was impeached, so it might take long. But we also have Matiang'i, who just came from abroad yesterday. He's back. He's vying. Kalonzo still there. We have a lot of politicians. But do you think the kind of things that we are experiencing in the country might affect William Ruto in 2027 when it comes to looking and also vying for the second term?
Yeah, definitely. Those things are going to impact on the approval or likability of this administration and its leadership come the next election. So there is no doubt about that. But we have to compartmentalize everything. The fact that those things will impact on Ruto does not mean that they are going to make Gachagua the president. We have to separate those two issues, you know. So the impact on Ruto, yes, that will happen. But then again, we also have to be aware to the fact that the elections are, quite a number of years away. Anything can happen. Things can change. The government can change its ways, can, sanitize itself, a year or so to the election. So anything can happen until we get to where now people start making decisions because the elections are very near. Right now, I think the ball is still up in the air. So we cannot say that, because of all that is happening, the votes will go Gashagua's way. And to be honest, Bon, like I said, Gachagua cannot run legally as it is right now. So I don't know why we really have to put a lot of currency on him running. We can put currency, he has a party, that's fine, right? We can say his party wants to step up, but then who will be the flag bearer for him?